Hi. Today, I firmly believe that the wonders of art, music, science, mathematics, and technology pale in comparison to God's majesty. I have not always believed this. In fact, during a 17-odd-year rebellion period between the ages of 18 and 35, I not only considered other religions, I even considered, does God exist? Is God even real? My journey to God, to Jesus, and to Christianity, in that order, started at that point and continued to this day some 35 years later. Metaphorically, my journey began at the top of the mountain as I pondered these most important questions. I came to faith only after questioning whether God even existed. This video and chapter are a reflection of how I approached answering these fundamental questions, and not to change the mind of those who have already decided differently. I just want them to know that they are not alone with the questions, though we may have found a different answer at the top of the mountain. I say that these questions are the top of the mountain because, to me, these are the questions that one must answer to jump into the river of faith from which all other rivers flow. Either way you answer them, you will be jumping into a river, one of faith or one of atheism, because these questions are the headwaters of all the various streams and rivers of faith that our lives as humans present to us. I guess one can choose to avoid these streams and rivers by never questioning if God is real. That is not how I approached faith. Rather, I chose to answer the questions and then chose the river which I would follow at the top of the mountain. I approached the questions, is God real? Does God exist? From two perspectives, because I found using only one to be inconclusive. First, I approach these questions from a physical perspective. I have heard this perspective called a Greek or Western perspective. Maybe. So for these questions, I considered whether there was compelling evidence that the universe was created and did not just happen. I know with certainty that no earthly creature created the universe due to its vastness. I know that before the universe, there was nothing. I know that the universe is ever expanding, though I am told apparently not without bound. I have been told that we perceive only about 10% of the universe, with the remaining 90% being dark matter and energy that we cannot see. But I am told that is what prevents the universe from flying apart and may even cause it to collapse back into itself in the future. I've been told that the probability for the existence of the structures, atoms and molecules and the like, as they are perceived in the universe, is incredibly small. And I am told that this small probability makes the likelihood of life, especially complex life, even more improbable. This evidence points me in the direction that the universe was likely created, rather than being a product of uncountable chains of unlikely events but it is not absolute scientific proof. And others look at the same information and reach the opposite conclusion. So I then looked at the questions from a second perspective, a more metaphysical perspective. This is not exactly the same perspective as is sometimes called the Eastern perspective, though it deals more with feelings than the physical does. From this perspective, I asked myself what the universe would be like without a creator, assuming the universe resulted from random chance events, however improbable. When I cloak myself with this assumption, I see, as Solomon and Nietzsche said, existence and life are meaningless and without purpose. With this assumption, I see the universe as unfeeling and indifferent to every part of itself. I see it as devoid of beauty or merit or love, because I see the concepts of beauty and merit and love as strictly constructs of overactive imaginations by improbable intellectual life forms that have too much time on their hands. This assumption lets me see that there is no reason for hope, as the universe's purposelessness and indifference render all striving as wasted effort. For me, in a meaningless universe, any actions that help others can provide me and my successors only some infinitesimally small and meaningless measure of self-satisfaction for an infinitesimally small period of time. But they are of truly no consequence to the vast and indifferent universe that surrounds us. In fact, the actions of all humanity, all 8 billion of us, even if they lead to our destruction, are insignificant in the grand purposelessness and indifference of the universe. And so I circled back and grabbed onto the evidence that indicates, though it does not prove conclusively, that the universe was created, because I need hope. And when I open even that small door for belief that there is a creator God, that physical evidence starts to seem more conclusive. I know that door is opened because I need beauty and merit and love. But with that door open, I find the proof of creation compelling. And with that door open, I find hope and purpose and beauty and merit and love in the Creator God who made the universe and declared it good. So, as I stood at the top of the mountain those years ago, and every day since, my faith in God is sure. Even in the darkest times that have occurred as I have drifted and swam and grasped and kicked down the rivers of faith that flowed from the one I leaped into at the top of the mountain, I cling to my faith in the Creator God. I cling confidently knowing that God is not indifferent and has ordained a purpose for the entire universe and every part of it, and even for me as I was created. God's love for the universe and for all his creation give me hope and beauty and merit and love, which I wish for you and your children as well.